In this episode of I Don't Work Here Lady, we're reading 7 interesting stories. This is more of a positive one, but I finally had it happen to me. My first ever I Don't Work Here Lady experience, rather short and innocent. Walmart's dress code has changed? Never thought it would happen to me, until it did. Little old lady just could not see very well, so I helped her. I'm not heartless. Short and sweet encounter with a dude. And finally, I used to work here, but not anymore, lady. If this is your first time, my name is Spicy and I cover the craziest and the funniest retail stories. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe. For more I Don't Work Here Lady videos, check out the playlist in the description. Congratulations LJH for the comment of the day. Now let's find some more Karens. This is more of a positive one, but I finally had it happen to me. This is my first time posting, so sorry if I make any mistakes. I was shopping for dog, cat, and rat food at my local pet store yesterday. Now, I was just in my everyday clothing black tank top, jeans, and my favorite Galaxy pattern Vans shoes. The employees of this pet shop wear royal blue shirts with khaki pants and black shoes. I look nothing like these people. Plus, my tattoos were showing, and at this particular store, they cannot show their tattoos. I noticed a man with a little mint pin walked in, and I smiled at the dog as I walked past them to go get my pet's food. I also did some browsing and in general spent quite some time wandering around. Once I had all I needed, I headed to the checkout. I have rat and cat food bags in one arm and a large 50 pounds bag of dog food in the other. The guy with the mint pin stops me and asks me if I know where any bunny ears for small dogs are. Being the polite person I am, I shook my head and I simply told him I didn't see anything while looking for my own pet's food. He was nice enough and thanked me, then continued on his way. And as I am checking out, the same guy ends up in line behind me and he looks from me to the cashier to me again, then says, "Oh, sorry miss, I thought you worked here." It made me laugh and I told him, "No, I did not work here. I was just here to get my baby some food." So there you go, nothing bad, but it did make my day. How nice the guy was. Also, the look on the cashier's face was priceless when she looked at her own uniform, then back at me. Like, how does this customer look like an employee? My first ever I Don't Work Here Lady experience. Rather short and innocent. I've seen a ton of stories on here and on YouTube, but have never been through an I Don't Work Here Lady experience myself. Thankfully, it is not a crazy one, but more of an innocent one. For some background info, I am a big 25-year-old guy who's a bit on the husky side, going by Gabriel Iglesias' level of fatness, by the way. So when the opportunity presents itself and the weather allows it, on Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday are for me watching my nephew. I usually like taking walks up to the local pet land, Books A Million and Party City to do some smushing around. I like playing with the animals at Petland. I read a few manga at Books A Million and check out the Halloween weapons props at Party City. Anyway, enough of that, there are noise there. Time for the story. While at Party City, I noticed a Pirates of the Caribbean sword and scabbard set that was almost off of the little display thingy that holds it. If you know what it's called, please let me know in the comment section. I picked it up and then the display thing slid off. Bit of a confession. If I see something like that, I can't help but fiddle with it. I like role playing and such, so don't judge me. Anyway, after fiddling with it, I decided to go report it to an employee. I got to the next aisle and see a dude in a gray shirt with staff on the back. Now, I have never seen a Party City uniform, so I thought to myself, does he work here? Might as well find out. So I walk up and ask, "Excuse me, but do you work here?" He responds, "Oh no dude, sorry, nice word though." I said, "Oh thanks, I am actually trying to find an employee so I could report it." He understood and I had to be honest with him and tell him his shirt made me think he worked there. He chuckled a bit and said, "No worries, staff for life." We laughed it off and I walked up to the front desk and gave it to a real employee. Nothing crazy, nowhere Karens, none of that crazy weirdness, just a normal misunderstanding. Okay, thanks, bye. Ubu. Walmart's dress code has changed? Hi everyone, first post on this sub. Not an incredible story, but happened to my husband and I. This is after we finished closing the restaurant we worked at this evening. We went to Walmart afterward. Picked up some items for the household, for work, and just some snacks. For reference, coming straight from work, we are both in all black dress pants, long shirts, and without a speck of blue in sight. At the self-checkout, we are almost finished when I notice a couple holding a $20 bills nearby and don't think anything of it. We begin to pay, and the man and woman come over to us and start by yelling, "Hey, hey!" I look up, startled, and she continues, "Do you know if this is a counterfeit? Can you get me a manager?" I told her that no, neither of us worked here, and pointed to behind us where the manager on duty was standing. They, fortunately, were incredibly kind and left us alone after that point. Nothing too crazy, no Karen this time, but my first experience with being confused for working somewhere I clearly don't. Never thought it will happen to me until it did. Reading this sub for ages, and I always thought it will never happen to me. I am on my way out of the demographic for retail workers. I thought, when at a local drugstore to pick up some baby medicine, a lady asked me if I knew where the washrooms were. Not a Karen, as she was quite nice about it, but just saw a black jacket and black jeans. Drugstore uniform is blue vest and black jeans, but whatever, and assumed I worked there. She was nice enough to admit her mistake. This is Canada. And still look a little embarrassed when she figured it out, but if it can happen to me, it can happen to you too. Have your game plan ready. Better yet, have 3. Not a Karen? Nice, but confused. Lower the shields and help them understand. 2. A Karen, but doesn't get into your space. Use small simple words. Clap after each word to punctuate them. 3. Karen and she's in your space, or touches and manhandles you. Break any hand grip with any sort of martial arts move you know. Wrist hurts when twisted. Fingers can be bent if necessary. Bonus point given if it leaves a mark and or a lasting impression on the person assaulting you. Call the cops and press charges on them. Little old lady just could not see very well, so I helped her. I'm not heartless. This is an actual nice story. Most of mine are. I work at a grocery store with a very obvious uniform, and as I said before, I work in a deli. I don't know how, but people can just tell I work in retail. It's like they can smell it on me. So I went into an Aldi, which is just a bulk store with constantly rotating stock. I had not worked that day and I was in a nice dress as we were on the way to my sister's for dinner. I was walking around with my mother figuring out what we needed, and some little old lady stopped me. "Do you work here?" "No ma'am, I don't." I look around and see all employees are up front cashing people out. All the while she is telling me how she can't see very well, something I am used to helping my customers with. "I don't work here, but what do you need? Maybe I can help?" "Oh, I just need some aspirin. They said it was over here." She points to the shelves in front of her, so I start looking for what she needed. "Unfortunately, ma'am, these are all allergy pills, but there are no pain medications of any kind here, unfortunately." "Okay, dear. Thank you for helping." I continued on my way back to my mom. I had been helping the last leave for maybe 6 minutes, and when I got back to my mom, she told me that I was a nice kid, I'm 27, and that she thinks they can just tell I work retail. Not long at all, but very wholesome. Short and sweet encounter with a dude. Just a sweet small encounter today at my local shop. I was shopping with my dad for a trip tomorrow. We were in the alcohol and snack aisle, and I was holding a basil and chip bags and sweets while my dad went to get the cart. This is translated from Romanian. Q, a lost guy about middle age. D for dude, and me, a demonic duck. "Hello, do you have cold drinks anywhere?" "I think not. Do ya?" Me, I turn around at this point. "Oh, over there, you can see the coolers from here. It ain't big, but it has some things." When I turned to face him, he was red as a beet. I think he realized I don't work there. Thanks ma'am. Sorry." And he left to get the stuff. Now, I get that he thought I was reorganizing shelf, somewhere empty cause Orthodox Easter, and I had like 3 bags of each type of puffs. So like 6 bags and some other things. I was wearing full black with a hoodie with insanity written huge and a shirt with Krusty from The Simpsons, smoking and drinking, both visible, so no way I was working. Poor dude, he was embarrassed like hell. I later saw him with a few cans of Red Bull. He apologized again and was red as a beet, and his wife chuckled a bit. I said no problem, I like to help people. Then I went to pay for the stuff, got home, packed for the trip and wrote this: Sweet, lost guy. I used to work here, but not anymore, lady. Hello, I've waited so long for a I don't work here story that I was caught off guard when it actually happened. It is not major and does not involve someone being dragged off by cops, but I still found it amusing. Back when I was in high school, I did a couple summer jobs working at a beachside hotel. It was a major hotel brand on a pretty good tourist beach, so it stayed busy. I forget what the exact title was, but it was my job to keep the housekeeping staff stocked with what they needed to work. I would go around with a cart to gather up the dirty linen and bring fresh sheets and towels to the ladies. About 2/3 of the housekeepers spoke English, and I probably learned more about how to speak Spanish than I ever learned in high school Spanish. It was a minimum wage job and I was grateful for the cash. I had also worked in a hotel restaurant over the winter break, buzzing tables. I still have a pretty good mental image of the hotel to this day. Fast forward over a decade later, and I am working for a fire alarm inspection company that is based in the same town, and on good years, the office will schedule a Christmas party at this very same hotel. I was amused a bit about it, though I did not really see anyone I recognize. The hotel staff can change significantly after over 10 years, but as I waited for the rest of my company to come over for the party, I wandered around a bit in the hotel. The hotel also still has a giant bird cage in the lobby for their 2 parrots, and one of their guests was wondering aloud where they were. Oh ma'am, the general manager of the hotel takes the 2 birds home with her when she goes home at night. They will be back here in the morning. Ah, that's too bad. Well, would like to be checked in, please. I glanced at the desk and apparently whoever was on duty did not realize someone was there yet and left the desk. I take a mental step back and realize that I am dressed in black slacks, a button-down shirt, and a festive Christmas tie. With a presentable haircut and my beard nicely trimmed for the party. Sorry, I don't work here anymore. I am actually waiting for a party. Well then, tell your friends that I need to be checked in. I don't care if you're off duty. Thankfully, someone heard the commotion and came around to the front desk to help the lady. I shrugged and moved off to look at some paintings on the wall while I waited, and I distinctly overheard how I should not be just hanging around if I'm not on shift. I turned and realized that the drama still continued. I shrugged at her and then pointed at the sign for a company's Christmas party. Thankfully, the lady at the counter understood and explained that I did not actually work there and that I am waiting on a party. Funny how hearing it from someone with a name badge made it more trustworthy than coming from the guy himself. Either way, I had a great party and laughed with some of my coworkers about it. Now I want to go on a used to work there grand tour and see how many people I can get to mistake me for a current employee. The name brand grocery store is next on my list. Hey, did you like this I Don't Work Here Lady video? If you did, check out my playlist right here. I bet you will love it. These videos take me a lot of effort and time to make, so if you can show me some support by liking the video and subscribing, this will mean the world to me. Also hit the bell button to know when we post a new video and join the notification gang. Thank you again for watching episode 65 of I Don't Work Here Lady. See ya!